Hello, it's Kristen, Tiger Lily, and Nico back here to give you another pick a card reading. This one is themed for the month of November. What are the insights? What's the knowledge? What are we bringing from October into November? What do you need validation on? What do you simply are just wondering about? Who are you wondering about? What are you wondering about? And we are going to, of course, be picking a card with the animal spirits because they are here and they definitely want to speak with us today, as you can see. Listen to them while folding the laundry, while doing work around the house, while having a drink sitting on your porch. They are here for you to enjoy. And you might also be getting some insights for someone else in your life. You might be hearing something that you are meant to tell someone else. So we can keep that in mind as well. So let's get to it. Pile number one, what medicine wants to come through? What animal medicine wants to come through? It's the horse. Pile number two, what animal? What's the medicine? What's the medicine for pile number two? The bee. Okay, I will see you in the piles. I hope that you will subscribe. I hope that you will give me a thumbs up and a like. It would mean so much to me if you're resonating. And let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. What is resonating? What kind of pick a card reading themed videos you would like me to do. I will see you over there. Bye. Okay, you're here with Horse Spirit Medicine. The card says, freedom is yours. When I drew this card for you, the first word that came to me was wild. And then I thought of the movie Wild, the movie starring Reese Witherspoon. So you might want to watch that movie, Wild. There could be something there for you. It could be very meaningful for you. It could show you something, give you some insights. But the movie is about a woman on a journey of healing. And she goes really on a vision quest. She puts herself through a very challenging rite of passage in her movement towards transformation, towards self-forgiveness, towards letting go. I pulled a quote from the book. It was a book that Reese Witherspoon bought, and she produced it, and she starred in the movie. So I'm going to pull you over here and read this quote. It had to do with how it felt to be wild, with what it was to walk for miles with no reason other than to witness the accumulation of trees and meadows, mountains and deserts, streams and rocks, rivers and grasses, sunrise and sunsets. The experience was powerful and fundamental. So, get you back here. I feel like going into November, you have come out of a cycle, sunrises and sunsets. Potentially, it's been many months or even the entire year so far that you've been in a deep transformation process that has felt rocky, like a winding river. And it's been challenging, but it's been absolutely fundamental to getting you to the place where you are right now of deep clarity, of deep focus, of deep compassion for yourself, and finding that place of forgiveness when you look back and you see, why was I like that? Why did I do that? Why didn't I see that clearly? Why didn't I see that about this person? Why did I stay in that environment? And it's part of who you are. It's part of the experience that you were meant to have in order to get to the next place. In the movie, she goes on this long journey. And at the end of it, it's not like her life is perfect and all the answers are there and she's completely 100% healed for the rest of her life, but she comes to a place of deep self-awareness and of accepting herself. And I feel like that's where you may be, and that's where you may be going into in November, a deep acceptance of yourself. To accept your own wild nature, to be untamed. Where have you tethered yourself in your life? Is there something that you're continuing to do, a thought pattern, a behavior pattern? Daily routines can be wonderful and stabilizing, but they can also be very claustrophobic. And it's important to look and reevaluate and make decisions around what needs to change. And sometimes we need to change things just because we have been doing them for a long time, and it's going to serve us just to take a little left turn. So you can look to the wild horse and you can see, I feel like this is the third eye that's lit up. It's the third eye lit up, but then there's all this blue, which makes me think of the throat chakra and the blue of the throat chakra. So this is really trusting your intuition about how to talk to yourself and how to start talking to yourself differently, even if it's hard, even if you're just catching yourself, talking old limiting beliefs to yourself. You're catching yourself saying, oh, I'm not good enough for that. I can't have that. That's for them, not for me. How do you talk to yourself? And that will change your communication with other people. Let's look at a little bit of tarot. Let's just see what other messages are coming in for November. What do we need to know for our highest good? How do we connect with our highest self? Connecting to the light of love. What do we need to know for November? This is the Artist reversed. So this deck that I am using has a couple of extra cards in it. So it is this deck here. And one of the extra cards in it is the Artist, and it's in reverse. And so I think this is where you have been maybe stagnant or stuck or not doing the creative things that you have been wanting to do. And it could be that at the beginning of 2024, we have these intentions. We have things that we want to do. We want to have these goals, and maybe you're at this point of the year and you're thinking about what didn't I do? What didn't get done? Or how did I get distracted? Or this challenging thing happened, or I felt emotionally raw and I couldn't get to that. And it feels like when you've been working on yourself deeply and taking care of yourself, that is part of the creative process. It just may not have manifested physically in the way that you wanted to, or maybe you're just beginning to pick things up again. So this is just a sign to recognize where you are in the reverse of your creation process. Whatever that is in your life, whether you're wanting to create relationship, create community, create something within your work, create a new job, create a new way of being, create a new way of living, create a new environment, but create a new thought process that you talk to yourself with every single day. Creating a better partnership with someone that you care about. It's never too late to reevaluate. And again, everything you've been through, as painful as it is, and it's a cliche, but it's true, but it's a valued part of who you are. The next is the Lovers. So this is finding, I want to say, this partnership within yourself first. You're partnering with you. You are reestablishing with yourself the contracts with yourself. What's important to me? What do I value now as opposed to what I valued before? You can completely make changes at any time. You could be one way and people can feel a certain way about you, or they think they can have, well, you're defined by this way, you're this late. And you can at any moment decide, I want to be different. And these are the things I'm going to do now. And no, I don't want to take that anymore from you. I don't want to take this the way someone is talking to you. You don't want to take how disorganized someone in your environment is, or maybe how disorganized maybe you have gotten. What is the new contract with yourself that allows
you to take a deep dive into your own self-worth. And then that within itself does bring better partnerships. I want to clarify specifically just the lovers, please. Tell me more about just the lovers. Because who doesn't love the lovers in any kind of a tarot card reading? If you're looking for a romantic partnership, or you're looking to renew or to reinvigorate a partnership that you're already in that's meaningful for you, and you know it's not the end of it, but there's something new. There's something new whether you're with someone, or there's something new whether you are seeking. So what is a little bit more clarity on that? And the clarity is the 5 of Swords. So not letting betrayals from the past or self-doubts from the past based on other betrayals. It's like the evidence, I call it. The evidence that I always get screwed over, the evidence that I can't be me. So where you are bored, and where you can be responsible for why you are bored, with or without someone. Why are you bored? Because you're wild, right? You want to be wild. You want to run around. You want to get down. Knight of Swords. Because you want to take your ideas and run with it. But this is also someone that has a lot of smart things to say. Very intelligent. But kind of goes off. They say this and go off. They're not stable. It's so funny because there's the wild horse again, right? There's our horse. It feels like this horse wants to break free from this knight. This knight is like, you are going to go into battle. And it's like, no, I don't. That's crazy. I'm not going to go into battle. I could die there. You know, so is someone dragging you along? Are you dragging yourself along in what you think is the right thing to do, or what someone is telling you is the right thing to do? So in November, it's about beginning to collect these insights, to collect these ideas about how you want to go into 2025. It's almost like a preparing several months in advance. It's like things are going to slow down. We're in the fall now. The fall was always such a potent time for just everything that needs to die, to surrender. It's a deep moment of surrender. It is the fall. It is what needs to fall. It gets darker. It goes dark. It goes dark so that you can go within a little bit and you can emerge the 2.0 version of yourself, the next version of yourself. If you want to be wild, you got to get your rest, right? You're not going to run a marathon. Excuse me, I'm going to pick that up. You're not going to run the New York Marathon without getting proper rest. Because it's not just about the training. It's not just about the doing and the preparing. It's also about the self-care. One more card, Val. What are the last bits of message here? This is fantastic. So, 7 of Cups. You have a lot of choice. And sometimes we have so much choice that we don't feel we have any choice. We don't know what to choose. It feels like nothing is really making sense. There's actually a lot of choice that you're not choosing, whether you know it or not. You're not choosing that person. You're not choosing that environment. You're not choosing to dip your toe back into that old familial pattern of relationships or thoughts around money, right? You want to be more of the artist, right? In the upright now. An artist obviously doesn't have to be artist, an actual art. This is you being the self that you knew you were born to be, without any of the old societal ideas of what should be, and without worrying around about whatever kind of stigma or what someone said to you about what you could or couldn't do. This is a time in November to recognize all the choices that you haven't made, and you haven't made them for a reason. So maybe if you don't have something, is it something that you ever really wanted? Or maybe you do want the thing, but you want it on your terms, whether that be relationship, work, family, community. And the last card here was, it's the Ace of Wands. So this is igniting your own passion. This is running wild. This is taking the torch, it feels to me. It's like you have behind you all the support of everyone who's ever inspired you, anyone that's ever believed in you, all your ancestors, I want to say. It's like all your ancestral knowledge and wisdom, the deep knowledge and wisdom within your DNA that is there, this untapped knowledge and wisdom that you were born with, that just wants to be utilized and expressed in the world. It's like taking the torch and running and making it your own. So, happy November, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Here we go, bee people. So this card says sweet results await. Now, bees always feel very transformative to me, and their power of transformation comes from their ability to pull so much resource and to work so hard. It's where worker bees come from, right? But they pull in the community. And I feel that in November, perhaps you've been working very hard on your own. And you're finding that although your own inner resource gets you really far, if you were to open up to allowing external resource to come in and help you, you're going to go farther and you're going to reach the place where you want to go a lot faster. When I pulled this card from you, it feels like being on a long journey of trying to reach a certain goalpost. I pulled this quote, and I was looking at the book Wild by Cheryl Strayed for Pile 1, and I decided to pull a quote from there as well. And the one that I was drawn to for you guys was, "We don't reach the mountaintop from the mountaintop. We start at the bottom and climb up. Blood is involved." It's like giving all of yourself, giving every little last drop to what it is that you're trying to do. And this could be, it could be work or a project, but this also could be self-improvement. This could be your healing process. This could be changes that you're trying to make in your life, deep changes. And you've spent a lot of this year looking at how you live your life and how you're attaining your goals. Your personal goals, your emotional goals, your spiritual goals, your work goals, your relationship goals. And you're at a really great place. It's a hard-won great place, but you're at a really good place. But there may be this sort of little bit that you're still trying to reach for, that you're still trying to get to, or this, it feels like, okay, I did this, but I want more. Or this isn't the end of the road for me. Or yes, I accomplished this. I want that too. Or I want it in this different way. And it feels like asking for help and getting support and allowing yourself to open up to community. They always say that the best leaders are those that know how to find people to do the things that they don't know how to do. And so this could be calling upon someone in your business to do certain things for you that you've been, maybe you can be good at them when you put in all this time and energy, but then all your energy is sucked out and you don't have time for the other things in your business that you really want to do. Or maybe you have no personal time. Maybe this is struggling emotionally or feeling sad or being in grief or feeling some anxiety, and pulling in the people that you know can give you support and help and not feeling like a burden. Knowing that you're not a burden, knowing that people are there and might want to help you. So the bees can be very much like new beginnings in this way too. Like, how can you start a new beginning in asking for help, or for allowing yourself, giving yourself the gift you deserve and you have earned the right to ask for this help. And it may cost some financial for some of you. It may be that you have to invest in this thing, and although it's going to feel so much more comfortable and it's going to feel great, there's a part of you that's worried about the money. And I think with the bee medicine here, it's about, you have to really think about and acknowledge what it is you're doing on an everyday basis. Even the little things that get you where you want to go, because they count towards the biggest picture. Let's have a little bit of tarot and just see what other messages are coming out for November. What's going to be for our highest good that we need to know? That was a big stack, so I'm putting it back in. What do we need to know? What are the reflections? What are the insights? What are the possibilities? What is it coming in from October? What's the wisdom from what we're coming into November with? How will we feel at the end of November? There's something definitely here, and this came up in pile 1 about this time of the autumn and the fall that we're in right now, that it is the time of surrender. It is the time of change. It is the time of being as okay as we can be with letting go what has died, what's no longer working, what has served its purpose, and something may have served a very good purpose in your life. You may look at it now and go, what was I thinking? What was I doing? Why did I make that choice? Well, because it was the one that was the best choice that you knew how to make at the time. And it's important to know that. You always made the right choices, whether you agree with them or not now. You've grown, you've changed. And now it's time to go on this journey of climbing up to the next place. And it's a new road. You don't know it yet. You don't know what's there. You don't know the passages. You don't know how rocky it might get, where the sharp edges are. You don't know where the rest stops are, but you'll find them. First card out, the Empress. So this is wanting to rule over your life in a way that is fruitful, where you are trusting your own intuition, where you can regenerate your own fertility. With the Empress, she gives birth. It's a creation process. And you have created things in the past. You've created something. You've created what's worked for you. And it's a matter of, what do I want to keep from that works? What new mindsets? What new value systems? What new ways of working? What have I learned? What wisdom have I gained? What am I keeping? And what isn't going to be productive or meaningful so much? What is taking up space that is not allowing me to have space for what it is that I really want? The baby gets so big it has to come out. It needs more room. It needs more space. You need more space. But it's also comfortable in there. It's comfortable in the womb. It's warm in the womb. It's safe in the womb. You could be someone dealing with womb work and with womb issues and things about relationships and sexuality, and allowing yourself to feel more like the person you really are, that you want to feel more free to live in the more sensual life, which is the sensual, the senses, to be more embodied, to be experiencing more of what you're feeling, what you're touching, what you're tasting, what you're smelling, to be more embodied, to be more present and embodied in your life. And from that place, that is the best way to be the leader that you want to be. It's hard to get into this success, like you're waiting for this sweet success. But what's the point if you can't even taste the sweetness? Right? The Nine of Pentacles, because you've definitely created something that has worked. You're smart. You have a lot of knowledge. You're not going into this with nothing. You're going into this with a lot, this next phase. You've built a lot. You're sovereign. You have agency. You take care of yourself. You're practical. You're grounded. You have created safety for yourself. And it's important not to let anyone take away your sense of safety that you have hard earned with your blood, sweat, and tears your whole life, this place of safety that you have built, this home within, this structure that you have, this physical, actually manifested structure that you have, your actual home. But your home here in your heart, the sense of safety that you've given yourself physically, mentally, spiritually, psychologically. You know, you are the one that gets to reap the benefits of what you've done. No one gets to take that away from you. No one gets to go pick flowers from your garden without your permission. The Five of Pentacles. It's this, you don't want, in November, you don't want to get into this place of deprivation, feeling deprived, feeling alone, because you're not alone. You know, you are holding yourself. But this is where the community comes in and who can help you. What is it that you're not telling people that you might feel ashamed or upset or you'll be judged? Is there a person that deep in your heart you know that you can talk to, that you can tell them, that you'll be there for them, but it's you that's keeping yourself from asking for this help? It's not them. So in November, maybe give somebody a chance to show you that they can be there for you, that you belong, that you're not alone, that you don't have to suffer through whatever this angst, anxiety of this transformation that you're in the middle of, this building something new that feels so chaotic and challenging. You have support, you have help. Who in November can you really share and express yourself with? Maybe it's a work situation and there's a coworker that you know in your heart knows that this is disorganized, this is chaotic, this is toxic, where you can support each other even perhaps. And the Two of Cups, this is coming together in partnerships with people. This is knowing that often, it is true we have to fill up our own cup, right? But it can also be helpful when we need it, when we feel too dried out, why do it all ourselves when we can get help, when someone can help us fill up our cup? Because isn't that the best? To know that you're capable of doing it yourself, but you don't have to, because there are people that want to be there. And then there's mutual reciprocity, you in return for them when they need. But it doesn't always have to be you doing it. You giving, you being compromising, you being caring, you're allowed to receive back. And to receive is to be able to put yourself in the best place to be able to create, to be able to stay fertile, to be able to have the energy that it takes to give birth, because it takes a lot of energy. It's better, some things really are better with someone else. And I don't mean this does not have to mean romantically. This is for some the desire for partnership and the seeing that what is it that prevents you or distracts you from partnership. And whatever it is, it's okay, because we all have our stuff. We all you're afraid of this or that, or had these experiences, or afraid that's going to happen again, or I went on 50 dates last year and none of them worked and now I'm tired. And you don't have to give up on yourself. And it can be often focusing on your creativity, knowing that you are sovereign, that you have agency, and you're having the agency of choice, and you didn't pick those people because it didn't feel right to you, or it didn't happen because it wasn't going to be in your best interest, no matter how good it might have felt. I want to get a little bit more on this Ace of Cups for us here before we end. The Ace of Cups. Because that is, I'm so sorry that I say Ace of Cups. Okay, I said Ace of Cups. And it's really the Two of Cups. So there's something about the Ace of Cups and the starting over of a new cycle with love. I do want to put this out there that, and this can be for men, women, however you identify, our friendships can help us prepare for romantic partnership. I know I always mention I had crappy girlfriends where it's like people were always taking and I was always giving and I never felt enough. When I found real girlfriends, that was like an entree for me to really understand what I wanted from a man. For me. So that's for somebody out there that's starting to just collect and gather and resource people that are on your wavelength. If they're not in your life now, believe me, for a minute I had no one. And sometimes you have to sit in that space for a minute and stand your ground on your own personal high bar of how you want to be treated. And really, as you make room, you've gotten too big. You've expanded, right? That's too much for some people. Like your expansion bothers them. You need to get rid of so that you can receive the new. So the Two of Cups. One of the Two of Cups, please. This came out. So the Chariot and the Seven of Pentacles. So the Seven of Pentacles is that sort of like looking back. And that's what this time of year is about in November. We're coming to the close. And it is looking at what we have achieved, right? What everything we've done. And it could be not just the year, but you could be looking, I think, for a lot of you at many years or even like the last 10 years. There's this Capricorn leaving Pluto thing happening in November, I think on the November 17th or 19th, and it's going into Aquarius, and everyone's talking, it's like the end of a cycle, it's the end of an era. So you could be looking at the last 15 years to some degree, or looking at it in pieces. And coming in to balance with your dark and your light, and accepting both parts of you for who you are. I want to get one more on that Two of Cups. One more on Two of Cups. It has been a wild ride. It has been chaotic. And you've had to deal with rustling the chariot and keeping the two horses steady. But you've done it. And that's what's important. You've done it. It was hard and you might feel exhausted, but you've done it. Right? That one just fell out. So with the Moon. So with this, I really want to say, leave room for romance. Leave room for the renewal of romance that you're in right now. Leave room for the new era of it and how you've changed and how the people that are beloved to you may have changed and how you may need to balance, right? You may be these two horses. You have to come into balance with each other. You might have to learn how to dance a little bit differently together, how to coordinate differently. But there's so much mystery and intuition. And the Moon for me can be like a very mythical, romantic. I always think of that song, The Moon in New York City. It's like a really old song from a really old movie named Arthur. You might want to watch. You might want to watch the movie. It's old. Some of you will know what it is. Some of you won't know what it is, but it's fun and it's hopeful. What do you get between the moon and New York City is coming into my head over and over again. From Christopher Cross, The Moon in New York City. The best thing you can do is fall in love. It's this work, I think, that you've taken this time to be with yourself, and as you fall in love with all the parts of yourself, what you don't like, what you love, what you want to change, what you're still working on. Life is always a journey, and we're always learning and always getting better. But there is room for romance. And let that be something that in 2025 maybe you can let into your life in a little bit of a different way than you have been doing. Different person, different places, different things, different way of looking at people. I'm going to end it there. I'm sending you love. Please give me a thumbs up and let me know in the comments below your thoughts, what resonates, and please join the community if you're called. I'd love to have you. Bye for now.